Good morning, everybody. Welcome to our live today. Hopefully everybody can see me and hear me okay. I'm gonna log in here real quick and make sure that we are all set up to go. Hopefully everybody's having a great Tuesday. I can't believe we are in August already. It's just flying by. The year is flying by. Let's see, let me see who I see here. I have my little iPad set up and everything. All right, well, welcome. Good morning, everybody. My name is Frank Garcia. I am here today to show you something really exciting, a new addition to the Cherry Sweet, kind of like a Cherry Sweet family, I would say. It's a new addition to the collection that is so fun. If you guys like, altering different things, adding embellishments to your projects, this is something that you will absolutely love. It's a really sweet mold. Today we are releasing actually not just one mold, but we're releasing 3 molds. 2 from the 3 Girls Tale collection, from the Home Baker collection, and then 1 from Cherry Sweet. A lot of people have been asking about this mold, and it's finally here. So here is a closer look at the mold. So many things that are on it. I'm going to show you the mold up close. You can see there are a lot of different pieces in here that are part of the collection. So if you love the super cute hedgehogs, if you love the little girls, if you love the little seal that's on the collection, you will absolutely love this mold. Look how cute it is. Isn't that adorable? So a lot of different things that you can add to this mold to create your own embellishments. I think that the variety of sizes here is really good because you can put them on cards, but also make them for layouts. And I'm going to show you a couple of things that I did today with these pieces. I know that a lot of people probably don't know how to use molds, or they've never used molds in the past, and that's okay. Definitely a learning curve, and once you kind of get it down, it's pretty easy. So what can you use in these molds? You can use resin, you can use paper clay, you can use even food products, so you can use chocolate, you can use anything really in here. Of course, if you use food in here, you don't want to mix it with craft products, so obviously you might want to get 2 molds, right? Hi everybody, good morning. Hi. I know everybody's been waiting for this mold, and I'm so excited for it because it's just so cute. It has a lot of different pieces that are going to really make all of your projects just shine. So again, this is the Cherry Sweet mold. If you're looking for the item number, it is 982003. Okay. So today I wanted to kind of share with you about the mold, kind of go over some cute little techniques and a little project that we're going to put together. But first, I am going to show you how I do my molds. Okay, so we're going to get started here. Hi from Texas. I know the hedgehog is stealing the show, but I actually like all of it. I mean, everything is super cute. The little girl, but I think my favorite out of everything is going to be the frame. The frame here in the center is actually my absolute favorite. I have some already made here, but I will be showing you the process. So I have my resin here set up already. So it is a 2-part resin mix. It is white resin, so this sets in 10 minutes. So while we're working on our project, this is going to hopefully set and give us the pieces that we need. I may not do all of the pieces. I don't know if I'll have enough resin in this mix, but we will see. We will see what happens. Now, can you use any kind of resin? Can you use UV resin? Can you use any of the other resins that are out there? Of course, you can use any resin that you like. I like this one because it sets pretty quick. So, of course, I don't have a lot of patience. So I like to craft right away. I want to get my craft on. So, but what's nice is that, it's white, so you can paint in any color you want. I know a lot of the Prima design team girls, they're amazing, and they do a lot of painting. So that makes it really cool. You can go in there with Finnabair's paints. You can go in there with any type of paint that you have. Yes, the bows are my favorite. Super cute. All right, so let me go ahead and start this. So there's an A and B part. I'm gonna go ahead and pour this part in here. Make sure that both of the contents of this are exactly the same. And this only gives you a little bit of time to work. So you kind of have to work a little quick, okay? So I'm gonna go ahead and mix this really well, making sure that both pieces, or both parts, sorry, are mixed perfectly well. And this is shipping already to retailers. It's available on several online sites, but we do have it available too in our shop. So make sure you check that out. And I'm gonna start pouring. And I like to go in and pour the biggest area of the mold first. So I go in and pour very, very carefully, making sure that I go into the largest area of the piece to make sure that it kind of goes in to the parts that I want it to go into. Does that make sense? Then move on to the next one. And like I said, you kind of have to work a little quickly, but just want to be as careful as possible. That way you don't overfill. Now, the reason I like the resin best is because it's liquid. So it goes into all those little crevices that you want your piece to have. So you want to get all that detail from your casting, okay? I don't know if I'm gonna have enough for the whole mold because this is a pretty big mold. There are a lot of pieces in here, so you wanna make sure that you do it a little at a time. I mean, if you don't have enough, you can always go back and make another batch, right? I always like to have an extra mold on hand in case I have leftover resin. It looks like we might have enough for most of it. Now you'll start to see that it kind of starts to thicken up, so that's why you kind of have to work really quick because it starts to set pretty fast. So we're kind of working against time here. I know, I'm hoping I'm not giving anybody anxiety. Okay, I'm almost there, And when it starts to kind of thicken up, it kind of is a little harder to pour, but I might get one more piece here. Hopefully everybody's following along. And you can kind of see the transformation already. Can you guys see that? It's already kind of turning. I think this one's done. Okay. But can you guys see it's already turning white? Yes, it is available now. If you guys are looking for it, the girls are posting some of the links to some of the shops that have it. Of course, Friend Garcia Studio has it, and a lot of the online shops also have it. Can you guys see the transformation? How amazing this is? I know, my dog is in here. My dog Holly, she is part of the mold as well, so I'm glad that she made it. The little swan might not completely be filled just because I ran out of resin, but everything else looks pretty good. So we're gonna go ahead and move this over so that it kind of does its thing, okay? And we're gonna let it kind of sit there for a couple of minutes. Usually it takes about 10 minutes for it to kind of get going. So hopefully it sets, you know, in 10 minutes. Now I wanna show you what we're actually gonna work on today as a little project. So I made these really sweet bookmarks. So I'll show you here how cute these are. So I made these bookmarks with the resin pieces. Can you guys see that? How cute, right? Now they don't have to be bookmarks. It could be prize ribbons. You can hang them on album. You can use them as a little tassel, right? But look at how cute, right? And I put a little piece of paper in the back to kind of, you know, if you want to add a note. Okay, and then here's another one with the hot air balloon. Oh my god, look at that hot air balloon, the detail, right? How cute is that? I just love these so much. So this is using, of course, the mold and then a couple of ephemera pieces from the Cherry Sweet line. So we're gonna work on those today. Anybody have any questions or anything? Anything they wanted to ask or see up close? Otherwise, I'm just gonna get going with my little project. So the first thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go ahead and start by painting some of my pieces, okay? So I'm gonna make another little batch of my paint mix here, and I'm just using acrylic paint. I like using full cart. That usually works pretty well. I like to make my own mix of paint just because I want to get that really light pink, right? Hello. So I'm gonna mix this really well, just kind of add my paint in there. I mixed a little bit of white and a little bit of seashell pink because I want that really soft pink paint, okay? You guys can see how light that is. Okay, I'm gonna grab a piece of paper right here, just so that I can work on. And I'm gonna go ahead and find my frame. I think I have my frame right here. I don't know if I have another hot air balloon, so I might have to wait for my other paste to set. But I'm gonna start with this one anyway. Okay, so I'm gonna rinse out my brush here. Okay. Hello everybody, I see some of my friends in here. Thank you for joining. And we're using this paint to paint our frame. And what's nice about the resin is that it really takes the paint really well. So you don't have to really work too hard for it. It just works, right? So I'm gonna just give it a nice little coat. There's a couple of links that people are posting in the comments if you guys want to check those out for the mold, if you're looking for the mold. I know people are asking where the mold can be located. So if you want to check the comments, the links are being posted there by some of the retailers.
You can't click the link. The links
So I'm just gonna paint this, give it one coat, and then I'm gonna go ahead and use my heat tool to dry it. So I'm gonna bring over my heat tool and just dry this. Okay, and I know I missed a couple of spots, so I'm gonna pick it up now that it's partially painted, and I'm gonna go in to the edges and just paint some of the parts that I missed on the sides and on the edges. And it doesn't have to be perfect because it's meant to be very shabby, right? So you don't have to worry about it being super perfect. It just needs to be painted enough, okay? Okay, it's looking pretty good right here. And you guys see our little mold here, it's kind of working its magic. I'm gonna check and see if my hot air balloon can be demolded here. I think it can be. Look at that, you guys. How cool is that? Right? It's already set. The mold was filled with resin. So we used a 2-part resin. Okay? And you guys can see it's probably already done. Feels a little warm to the touch. So here are some of the pieces. So you have like a stack of books. Of course, you have our sweet girl. She is the sweetest. You have some butterflies. Of course, you have some cherries. And I think there's 2 sizes of the cherry, which is nice. You guys can see the detail on those. Of course, the frame we're working on, look at that frame, it's so good. I'm gonna just lay them flat on my mat so that it doesn't bend because it's still kind of soft, but it's already workable. Like that. Here's that too. That little bow. Of course, our little dog. And I think our swan didn't really turn out because I was a little short on resin, so I'm not gonna use that one. Alrighty, so here's all of our pieces. Here's our mold. Now I'm gonna paint my hot air balloon. Just gonna go in with a coat of the same paint. Does anybody have any questions? I know there was questions about the resin. The resin that I use is just a 2-part resin. It is Amazing Cast resin, if you're looking for the name brand. I'm gonna give this 1 coat and then just dry it real quick and then give it a 2nd coat, okay? So this is the resin that I used, in case you're wondering what it looks like. It's called Amazing Casting Resin, and it's in white. You want the one that says white because that'll set in 10 minutes. Okay? In case you're wondering what that looks like. Okay, I'm just getting some of those last little bits that I had left over. So for the paint that I use, I just used seashell pink and I mixed in a little bit of white to make it a little lighter. Okay. I'm just gonna get some of my edges here that I missed at the top, and we are good to go. And see how easy it is to get this painted right after you put it in the mold. It's really, really easy. All right, so they look pretty good to me. What do you guys think? Look at that. Isn't that beautiful? Love the way that looks. So now what I'm gonna do is, I'm not a really good painter when it comes to like painting detail stuff. So I just like to accent. Normally when I do my resin pieces, I use them white because I love the way they look in white. But I'm gonna go ahead and accent today. I wanted to show you what those look like. So you can kind of see right here the hot air balloon. So what I'm using is this Decor Color gold leafing pen. It's like an oil-based pen, okay? And you can see it has like a really fine tip. I'm gonna just get it started just by tapping it on my paper towel here. And I'm gonna go in there with a little bit of this leafing pen and just going over the high points of the frame. Okay, and that's just gonna add the perfect amount of detail to my frame. Okay. Just a little bit, just to add a little bit of kind of like a fancy look. Just love the way this looks. I'll show you up close right now once I get finished here. And it goes really nice. I'm using the more precision tip because these are smaller pieces. There's also one that's like a chisel tip, which is a wider tip. So that would be good for like a bigger piece, right? Yes, you can get these on our site as well. So for the hot air balloon, I'm going over the little ribbons. So if you're like me and you don't like to really color, or you're not a good color person like me, this is like a fun little way to add accents to your pieces. I'll show you here just a bit of it. And it's really simple, it goes really fast. You don't really have to think about it. I'm gonna let it dry just for a little bit before I pick it up. I'm gonna do it on the basket of the hot air balloon. All right. Now while this dries, I want to show you all the pieces that I did last night. I just went crazy doing these. So look at how cute these look with the gold foiling. Even if you just do a little accenting, oh my god, they look so cute. Isn't that cute? They look like little treats. Look at the little envelope with the little heart. I just did the little heart in gold. I painted all of these in pink, by the way. And then we have this here as well, this little heart. I just did a couple of dots. How cute is that? And then I have these two bows. Just accented those. Okay. And then if you didn't want to paint your pieces, right? If you just want to leave them white, just adding a little accent also is nice. Look at this guy. Just a bow. Isn't that adorable? I love the way these turn out. They just turn out so good. And it's just a simple little accent. You don't have to go crazy, you know, doing a lot. I missed a little spot there. Thank you guys. Thank you for your comments. I appreciate it. Just gonna go over these little spots that I missed. All right, so these are looking pretty good. Gonna move on to the next step here, but I want to show you the frame up close so you guys can see how pretty that looks with the accents. Isn't that pretty? So cute. I hope you guys could see the shine of the foil. Very pretty. Okay. All right. So now we're gonna work on our little bookmarks, prize ribbons, whatever you want to call them, right? So I'm just gonna start with a 5-inch piece of satin ribbon. This is just a pink satin ribbon. We do have this available in that little store here. I'm gonna just cut the bottom with my scissors. Just gonna make it a fishtail. Okay. And then I'm gonna take some lace. I'm gonna just cut the edge off here just to make it a little less wide. And it's okay if it's a little longer than the piece because you want it to kind of hang over a little bit. Now because we are using fabric, I'm gonna make sure I use a fabric glue to adhere this. So I'm gonna just go all the way down here. And I'm gonna go ahead and adhere this. So I'm making sure that I'm adhering it the right way up. So this is gonna go right here, just like this. And see how it hangs over a little bit? That's okay. I like that. I like that it hangs out. Okay. And I'm gonna just trim off just a smidge from the top. Then I'm gonna take this stripe. This is a Girl Game ribbon, just a pink stripe. And I'm gonna just add a little bit on this side here. A little bit of glue. And I'm also going to cut this in a fishtail. Just like that. And I'm gonna go ahead and adhere this down at the bottom on the edge. Just like that. So far it kind of looks like this. You have the 3 little layers. I'm gonna trim my pink one here just a smidge. So I could see a little bit of that lace. Okay. Is everybody following along so far? Doing good? Okay, so now we have a lot of ephemera, right, that we can use on here. Of course, I love my ephemera packs from this line. They are so fun. I'm gonna take one of these with the frames. This is the cabinet card ephemera. It has all these really cool cabinet cards. And I'm gonna go ahead and put this in my little dish here. And I'm gonna go ahead and find this pink frame. I love this pink frame, it's so pretty. And you don't have to use them as frames sometimes. Like this one I'm gonna cut in half. And I know that's probably painful for some people, but sometimes it's fun to just work with your pieces in a different way, you know? Don't be scared to cut. So I'm gonna just add a little bit of glue to the back of this, and now I'm just using regular white glue. Move my paint out of the way. And I'm gonna just center this right here on my little ribbon. I mean, just this alone, look how cute that looks already. I mean, it's just the layering, the distressing, the vintage feel, I love it. Now for the back, I already have a little piece of my cherry paper cut. I used the 8x8 pad because it's smaller. Okay, so I'm just gonna go ahead and glue this on the back of my ribbon. And these would be really cute presents for like a teacher, someone that likes to read. You can put, you know, add this as a little bookmark or a little tassel too, or a little prize ribbon. You can hang it off somewhere in your craft room. Actually, Andrea was saying that we should make these for our little lampshades and hang them on our lampshade. So we might do that. I don't know. We might experiment with that. All right. So that's kind of what that looks like. Just the front and the back. I'm gonna take my frame, and that's gonna go right here in the middle. Okay. And that's kind of what makes the project, is this really pretty intricate frame that just came about in a matter of minutes, right? You guys just saw me pour this into my mold and use it as an embellishment, right? Okay, look how pretty that looks. Oh my God, it's so pretty. I know, imagine finding this inside a book. That's so cute. I love that. Love that, I love that, I love that. Okay, so now I'm gonna go ahead and layer a couple more ephemera pieces. I'm gonna leave one of these frames out before I put this one away. I'm gonna find my other ephemera pack. This one is from my Daydreams ephemera. And I like these little pieces of like little words, little things that you could layer. Just so cute, right? There's a lot of little things that you could use in here. So for example, like this one that says a never-ending daydream. How cute would that be, right? I'm just actually going to trim this down just a smidge. I might use this one, this never-ending daydream. I just think it's so cute. Oh my god, yes, it's great for stockings. Great for stockings. Okay, so here is my little piece of foam tape. I'm gonna just use a little piece here. Just to pop it up just a smidge. And I'm gonna put this right here in the front. See how cute that is? I love that. That little never-ending daydream. Love, love, love. Okay, I'm gonna take my other ephemera pack. I'm just gonna go ahead and empty it out right here, my little dish. Because there's some pieces in here that I want. So, I have my little, you guys know I have to have my little Paris, my little French stuff in here. I love all these little pieces, these little accents. Okay, so I'm gonna just layer some of these little pieces on here. There's this little carte postale on there. Maybe this little Paris can go on top. And there's so many pieces in these ephemera packs, you guys, so you guys can really get really creative with this. Oops. How cute is that, right? I'm gonna add a couple of my little pearls into my bookmark here. So I'm gonna take a couple of these. I use my tweezers for this. I might need to refill my bottle soon. I'm kind of getting to the bottom of my bottle. I love this little tip. It's really good for adding little pearls. Does anybody have any questions? Anybody need to see anything up close? I'm happy to do that for you. Just working on some bookmarks. If you're just joining us, we are celebrating the reveal of my cherry sweet mold. Look how cute this is. Isn't that adorable? Love, love, love. Now I do have some charms that my friend Ren gave me these little charms. Just little cherry charms that we had. So she shared some with me. I'm gonna use one of those in the middle of my piece here. Right about there. And I'm gonna add a little bit of white glue in that opening to add a pearl there, okay? So I'm gonna just take my pearl and put it in the middle, just like that. How cute is that, you guys? Cute, 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 right? Okay, so now what I want to do is I'm gonna take my soft gloss gel. You guys know I love this stuff, and I've been using this same bottle for an eternity. It goes really a long way. So I'm just gonna go ahead and add a little bit of this kind of randomly on my bookmark. Okay. And then I'm gonna go ahead and take my glitter. Oops. And And I'm just gonna glitter some of the parts here where I added that. What do you guys think? Just a little bit of shimmer, a little bit of glitter. So pretty, right? No. All right, so that's kind of looking pretty good. That's our first little bookmark. You guys want me to do the second one real quick before we go? I'm gonna make the one with the hot air balloon. So I'm gonna put this one on the side just to dry. You can always add, I added some little vintage buttons on mine. You can always add some of those if you wanted to. But we can add those a little later. I know, it's really cute. And these are really addictive. Like, I was thinking about it and I'm like, oh my God, imagine if we did like some Halloween ones, or if we did some for fall. How cute would that be, right? And you just need like different color ribbons. So if you have different color ribbons, then you can do the same thing for different holidays. Or, you know, if you're like me, you're just gonna make it all pink. That's just the way it goes. So we're just making our second one with our hot air balloon, and our hot air balloon just came from our mold, directly from our mold. Okay. So this one I'm gonna place on this side. So I'm gonna just go ahead and run my glue the side here. Take my lace and just adhere it on this side. And then I'm going to take a little bit more of this glue and just put it on this side. I know, wouldn't it be so cute to just do a little scene? That would be a good idea, huh? I'm going to trim off a little bit of this pink stripe. And then I'm going to take my paper and put it in the back like I did with the first one. And that also gives it a little bit of like a little bit of sturdiness. That way it doesn't flop over. So it kind of makes it sit a little bit more flat. Does that make sense? So I'm going to put this behind here. Okay. So far that's what we have. I'm going to take my other frame that I saved earlier and see where I put it. Down here. I'll take this one. And I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to just cut it in half. Maybe this way. And I'm going to add my glue. And this is gonna go right here. I'm just gonna press this down since we are adhering onto fabric. I'm gonna trim off, actually just a little smidge right here. Okay, that's kind of how that looks. How cute are those frames, right? Like these frames for the cabinet cards, they're actually my absolute favorite. They are just so, so good. I just love them. So now I'm gonna layer some of my other little ephemera bits. These are so good to layer with. Of course, yeah, here is one of them. There's actually two girls in this mold. They're both holding little cherries. Hopefully you guys can see that. They're so cute. I'm gonna take this guy and just kind of put this here. I'm gonna trim this down. And this is gonna go down here. Just gonna squish it over just a smidge. Just like that. And there's so much in here that you guys can layer in here. I mean, I just love everything in these ephemera packs. I actually love this little dictionary piece. I might actually see if I can trim some of this here. I like this peaceful. So I'm just gonna take this and just trim this down. See, like this little thing that says peaceful? Because honestly, sometimes that's all I need is some peace. I know you guys can relate. So I'm gonna put this right here at the bottom. How cute is that, right? Okay. So now we're gonna put our piece that is the main highlight, and I'm gonna take that guy and put him in the center. How cute is that, right? Isn't that adorable? I just love this hot air balloon. I love that it has all those ribbons hanging off of it. It's just so cute. And when you highlight it with the gold pen, it just looks really good. Just really, really good. Okay, so now I'm gonna take a couple of pearls. Just gonna add a couple of dots here. Just make it easier for me. Maybe one in the bow, one here. And I'm just gonna take my tweezers and just drop those little pearls. So that too. I love these little half pearls, they're so good. I think I had one in the bow, right? Isn't that adorable? Just love this so much. It's so cute. All right. So now the last thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna just add a little bit of glitter. I'm gonna take my little soft gloss gel here. Just add a little bit of random spots where I'm gonna put a little bit of glitter. And if you've never used soft gloss gel, it's a little different than using like regular glue because this one dries completely clear. And I like that because I don't like when my glue shows in my projects. It drives me crazy. So I tend to use soft gloss gel for very detailed things like this. Okay. I'm just gonna add a little bit of glitter in all the spots that I added my gloss gel in. Look at that. Isn't that pretty? Now you can definitely go in the back, and if you remember in the package with all of the frames, the cabinet card ephemera, there's also these little adorable seals. How cute are these, right? Like, these are just the most adorable thing ever. This is my favorite one, the one that says love, love, love. So I might actually go back here, and I might actually just put one back here. Because why not? Right? So there you have it. Cute little bookmarks, right? So the ones we made today. And you can always go in there and add a little bit of splatter. You can add some of the gems from the collection. These are some of the gems. I added a couple here on the originals, and you can see I added some buttons as well. You know, just to finish them off. So you guys can see all the little details there. How cute are these, right? All right, and then one last look at these little guys here. These are painted and colored with a gold pen. Hopefully you guys can see that. Hopefully the dish helps, because I know I was showing them earlier and maybe it wasn't showing very well. But all right, you guys, so that's our little project today. Here is the mold. This is the cherry sweet mold for my collection. Hopefully you guys love this mold. I mean, you could do so much with it. I mean, look at all the pieces that you get in here. And again, it's available now. Make sure you pick it up before it sells out, because, you know, these things are limited edition. Nowadays, a lot of things are limited, and, you know, with everything going on in the world, you just never know when things are going to sell out. And if they sell out, they're really hard to get again. So you want to make sure you pick it up. I know, this one does need a name. We'll have to figure out what the name is, right? Oh my god, the bows are my favorite. All right. Okay, you guys. Well, hopefully you guys enjoyed this little project with me. Thank you so much for joining me this morning, and have a beautiful and happy crafty day. We'll be sharing some more inspiration throughout the week with these molds. And make sure you also check out the molds from the Home Baker. Those molds are also super cute. All right, you guys. I will catch you guys in the next video. Have a wonderful day and a beautiful week. See you later. Bye.